What's up guys, today I'm going to be talking about the Pokemon that most deserves a ban in Scarlet and Violet OU. Before I get into that though, let me explain the background footage you'll be seeing. I'm using a fairly standard team model, using the famous Landorus, Glowking, Gambit, Cinderace core, paired with an Iron Valiant for speed control, and a Kyurem. The Kyurem set I'm using will change every game. It will either be a substitute Dragon Dance set with Icicle Spear and Terra Blast Electric, a substitute Terra Ground Earth Power set, a loaded dice Dragon Dance Dual Stab Terra Blast Ground set, or a Choice Spec set. All of these replays are from high 1800s or 1900s on the OU ladder. The game is called Can My Opponents Figure Out Which Kyurem It Is Before It's Too Late? The answer is always no. I hope you enjoy the footage. The first reason Kyurem needs a ban is set variety. The sets I'm featuring in this video aren't even the full range of Kyurem. On top of the sets I just mentioned, Kyurem can run mixed sets with Substitute, heavy-duty boots variants, and special sets with Scale Shot for a speed boost. And there's also the Dragon Dance Nevermelt Ice sets with Freeze Dry. All of these sets have very different answers, and all of them are extremely immediately threatening. You may switch into a Galarian Slowking expecting a Choice Specs hit, and then the Kyurem clicks Dragon Dance. You may switch into your Corviknight hoping for Dragon Dance, and then it sets up a Substitute and starts clicking Freeze Dry. Just one turn is enough for Kyurem to ruin your team. And as you can see by the footage shown here, analyzing team structure doesn't really help to predict what set the Kyurem is. Now let's address the fact that all of these sets have little to no defensive counterplay even if you do know the set. Let's look at some examples, starting with the Nevermelt Ice set with Dragon Dance, Icicle Spear, Freeze Dry, and Earth Power. What can handle this Kyurem? Well, Goldengo with Air Balloon intact, a healthy Iron Crown, a healthy Zamazenta, and a healthy Kingambit. And I mean really healthy. These Pokemon take a lot of damage. What about my Terra Blast Electric substitute Icicle Spear Dragon Dance set? That can be handled by a healthy Zamazenta, Iron Defense Garganacl, or Iron Defense Corviknight or Skarmory if they choose to Terra. Now, what about substitute with Terra Ground for Earth Power, Protect, Substitute, and Freeze Dry? For that, you pretty much need either a Blissey or to Terra Ice a specially defensive wall. You can see why that set in particular is so popular. Furthermore, this set can PP stall with Substitute and Protect, making use of its ability Pressure, so even something like Iron Crown won't win long term. Pressure allows Kyurem to effortlessly PP stall Encore as well, typically considered to be a counter to Substitute Pokemon. Encore has only 8 PP, and Kyurem can Protect on the first Encore, meaning you'll lose half your PP just trying to Encore Kyurem into Substitute once. The truth is, defensive answers to Kyurem are almost non-existent, and often must be at full health to be an answer. The only reliable answer to Kyurem is to run a very offensive team that doesn't allow Kyurem to set up a Substitute or a Dragon Dance. Either that, or you run a full stall team, which has so many walls that between Dondozo, Blissey, Corviknight, and others, you can usually handle Kyurem. But only usually. This toxic dynamic has made team building and all team styles more defensively oriented extremely difficult. For those of you that are going to say, "Yay, I love that Kyurem is ruining defensive building, I hate stall," let me explain. Kyurem does not hurt stall, at least not very much. Stall handles Kyurem the best of all teams on the defensive spectrum. Kyurem's presence in the tier is hurting balance, bulky balance, and semi-stall teams most of all. These archetypes can't just run 2 unaware Pokemon and a Blissey to handle whatever nonsense Kyurem is going to dish out. Every team in this range of semi-stall to balance is going to frequently lose to Kyurem, even if the team is as well constructed as it could reasonably be, and played as well as the team could reasonably be played. The fact that you just have to accept this Kyurem tax on your ELO has caused a lot of players to shift toward bulky offense, and hyper offense teams. This change can be seen in the usage stats. Iron Moth and Roaring Moon, 2 Pokemon seen almost exclusively on Hyper Offense, have seen usage rise to 18% and 17% respectively. Raging Bolt and Ogerpon, common choices on both hyper offense and bulky offense, are now at 24% and 19% usage. Conversely, we can see the balance and bulky staples such as Tinglu at 12%, Corviknight at 10%, Alomomola at 7%, and Skarmory at 5%. The lack of defensive answers to Kyurem is killing the archetype diversity in the tier and polarizing team building. All of this alone is enough to justify a Kyurem ban, but there's one more uncompetitive mechanic Kyurem has that deserves to be mentioned: freezing. Freezes happen sometimes, with more Pokemon than just Kyurem. A Darkrai, Deoxys, or even a Glowking Ice Beam can freeze you. What makes Kyurem the biggest perpetrator of this broken mechanic is Freeze Dry. It's extremely spammable, has 32 PP, and particularly the substitute variants of Kyurem can fire off a lot of them in one game. Other Pokemon get Freeze Dry, but none have the bulk and longevity of Kyurem. 10% may seem like a small annoyance that doesn't happen too often, but imagine you're facing a substitute set with Freeze Dry. If that Kyurem uses just 3 Freeze Dries, there's already a 27% chance they've frozen you. If they use 4, that's a 34% chance, greater than the odds of a Focus Blast missing. All it takes is 7 Freeze Dries, not an entirely unreasonable number for a substitute Kyurem over the course of a game, and there's a 52% chance they will have frozen you. Once you're frozen, there's only a 20% chance you'll unfreeze each turn, so oftentimes your frozen Pokemon is essentially dead, or even worse if it allows Kyurem or some other Pokemon to set up before finishing you off. Although Scald can unfreeze you, Scald distribution is even more limited this generation, and most Pokemon that get it are water types, which die to Freeze Dry. This isn't the central reason Kyurem needs to be banned, but it's an extremely uncompetitive aspect that has been tacked on to this already broken and unhealthy Pokemon. I'm asking the OU Council to suspect test Kyurem, and I'm urging you all to ladder and vote ban when the test comes. Let's make this tier healthier. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time.